Just so I can see what I said, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, I'll reverse cross face in here second.
So I think you're asking mostly why did he switch his hip to the other side after he kind of, so he kind of got the 3/4 mount or whatever, freed his knee. His head was on this side and he moved it to this side, even though he only have to cross face still.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking?
We can start with that. Why would he move his head to that side?
So
I didn't know when to move his head to that side.
So usually my reasoning is I already had that. He did it a slightly different way. I haven't seen it quite as much because he did kind of give the underhook up, but when you have the hip pin with your knee to the ground, kind of just like we were talking about in that other scenario, but it's even worse since his knee's on the other side of the knee. You want to move I wouldn't even necessarily say completely to the other side, like at least center while you're trying to pummel it out, so you have like a base for your head. So like he had managed to pretty much just get the 3/4, right? Like he had it entangled or whatever, and he pulled it down next here, and he said he was here across this, and moved it here. So it out. And the reason is, and we say, when you're trying to move weight forward, I'd be pretty unbalanced.
But didn't he have on the side?
He started with it on this side, and then he so I would say, right, and I think he has like, when I'm really starting to pipe up and it's really hard with me, you can take on your own hand. So I might go over. It's right here. Because it's mixed along right here, now I think that
All right. And, when you have your half butterfly hook in, or when I have my butterfly hook in, and you pummel it, flat with the
you can't. This thing's pretty much just a
Right, you already did it?
yeah, I just stand like this, and I don't know, you're not standing just like sitting down some neck where you're trying to do also just like this, with the belt through the back. It's just, I stand up straight, so you use that so now you're playing that thing. You ready to start this one? Oh yeah, you know, I'm leaving it. Just leave in the middle of it. Yeah, just this little circle right here. So yeah, like whenever you pummel the motion, it just turns into block these flat once you have the pummel in. It's so good for you, but a lot of the time at headquarters, far enough away you can't force them flat. But if you do get your upper body position to keep them flat, that's great. Like whenever I can get upper body position at headquarters, that's sometimes when I actually will do float passing. I think we've talked about this before, but I find float passing when I don't have any upper body position, like Gordon shows right, it's still here. I find that so many posts and this, and if they're threatening this coming around, I have to change that with the posts. I might, like, if we just get this here, get me out bounce this way, and shoot the stuff there. Like, I just find, unless I have like an underhook, like this, then I can get into the float passing stuff. But until I have that underhook, like some of the other body control, I don't love the just post on my hands float passing. Just because I feel like if you do it to me real quick, I'm repeating myself a little bit here, but like, if you try to just lean forward and post on your hands, like I find it's just so easy for them to pummel that back.
Okay.
And as soon as you feel any pummeling, you should sit back and bring your elbow to your knee to keep that to stop that space. This knee's usually a little further forward too.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, but like the problem, but as soon as you might start getting some sick as this, but as soon as I do this, you have to go back. It's just if the other person's good at timing that, it's going to be tough. And sometimes you can maybe time a hit switch out of it, but I just find like it's so much easier to just read this hand, and as soon as you can get some type of V grip or underhook, knee cut back this way. They have to keep like this like really tight for that.
Yeah.
And that there is some dilemmas there where like if they keep it like so like if I'm really here keeping the knee cut tight, like a lot of the access for this like it's a little bit easier for the pummels. Yeah. So it's like you kind of can use the pummels to open this up a little bit. My mind is pretty tough with the blue shot the knee cut anyway. But if you get your upper body position and can flow past with upper body position, that's great. But you can also just knee cut with the underhook on that side too. So it's like,
Okay.
you know, it's almost like slow passing's cool,
Yeah.
but a lot of the time the knee cut option's there and it's maybe a little bit easier, especially once you know all the knee cut variations you can get to. You do go straight to mount when you full pass or something.
Pull it up, please.
Oh, sorry.
You know, you just said about the knee cut and palm line. It's interesting with the high legs.
He has some interest that Gordon has interesting stuff on that in his half guard passing. No, his body lock passing instructional. He gets into right tripod body lock, which is pretty much just float passing, but using the body lock entrance to switch to float passing.
And that'd be something you prefer to do from like double butterflies or regular.
Yeah. Like instead, like if you're having trouble doing the traditional body lock stuff where you kind of walk around, force half guard, or have a butterfly, and then step around it. Like what you can do instead is if I do manage to, you're saying a seat at the start, I get here, I go here, and I go here. Instead of trying to do this and this and this, I can just leave forward like this. Even without things like this start, I think that's my goal. And there's a whole series of pummel dilemmas you can use there. It can be a little bit tough when you start with no inside position. So if you want to try to steal some as you're going in for the body lock, like put your seated, I go in and I just step this leg around and in right here, and then a lot of the time it's like either from the knees or from standing.
Yeah, where you kind of like flip strong.
So like if I'm just standing on my knees, you pretty much you can do like kind of a white and blue belt with like huggy passes. You can try to go in under your eyes, switch it over the pass. I have like a slightly over the pass, and I know not everybody's using it, especially the movie on your shoulders and kind of. So the big final one that you can have is body lock, or just stepping into a half guard with or half guard. Yeah, like so if you're sitting up, mainly you're right, I think when it's body lock or half guard. But a lot of the time I'm saying in that case, like I'm thinking of getting here and stepping the leg up, but I kind of almost standing up, and then it's almost kind of like standing or seated. I was just starting from here and taking by surprise to get to there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And when you're here, you say you generally kind of push this throwing more.
So you do want to post it some,
Yeah.
like especially if you're sitting back. If I'm sitting back, so it's more than not there. Right?
Okay.
So there's times when you post that, and I can force you to post it too. There's just one, just right or two, just one second, brother. There are reasons to it, it's challenging. So like, especially if I'm further back, I mean, but as soon as you feel me starting to go behind you, you might want to drop or fall to the side.
Okay. Can I try a truck thing?
Sure.
And then actually you can just put me in the truck.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I understand the defense of one basic defense.
Okay, I have never studied truck defense a ton myself. The basic what I know is just pummeling the leg around. I know Gordon has a section on it in his back defense, but I haven't gotten a chance to watch it.
I want grip that's on top of mine, baby. The truck flip. See, this isn't the truck flip. I guess you wouldn't have the loss before.
Okay.
You'd be holding.
Oh, so yeah, I go over the leg. I think it's the whole idea as long as I have this, it's still secondary. I know Bob and the phone starts talking like I don't know if there's like variations in whether I have the arm or not. If that changes.
All right, so if you have that leg, yeah, I want to understand this flip.
I know it's exactly what it was. The big thing Gordon always says too is you don't want to be extending right here. Back there, but see all you have to do is come around the map. He's always been on. Bring this sort of roll up a little bit.
Okay.
So that coming around something. Because like now this 2004 is close to there. Now people are always going to do something like this and try to fry that what's at. But then a lot of the time, thinking if this arm's really tight, with the 11-year plan, if this happens, switching back to the full regular back attack. So no trouble lost if you went there from back attack. If they never give you the arm because they're so tight, it's really easy to switch back to back control. And it also, if they do pry the leg open, they're kind of open for you to just switch back to back control too.
Do you have YouTube?
Yep.
It was by Brandon McCaffrey, like 1 minute truck flip.
Gotcha.
I said, maybe you can probably explain it how I'll understand it. But that seems very difficult
Yeah, I'm not sure
to do
the Kraken
based on just
truck
feeling
flip.
it.
I think he did it like
Truck flips.
I probably spelled his name wrong. I mean, I know him. I've watched his stuff before. How do I spell his name?
Just put JJ truck flip.
Jeremiah Manson. Oh, this one?
If it wasn't, but yeah, man. Or something. Yeah. It's not one of those long, 11-minute videos, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Is it on McCragen's channel?
I mean,
Oh, there it is.
probably.
Flip here. It is.
Okay,
This
yeah.
is probably it, right? 1 minute jiu-jitsu hack.
Yeah. That shit also annoys me when I'm watching it. It starts on the advertisement. I'm like, dude, I'm already on.
Yeah, right? So I think this is when it is more neutral. When you get to their out of back control, see, brother, it's not as neutral.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Because of the angle. Where this does happen, it's just like we talked about why I don't like doing the roll from 3/4 mounts as much, is the other person has a chance to do this too because it is more neutral. So it's like, if to get there from what you were talking about, like, yeah, it's like we have to be more here. You have to have access to that.
And then I just grab this.
Yeah, and you just start inverting this knee. Yeah.
This is the shit they always called us when I started at 10th time, and I forget like a lot of this shit, dude.
So, like, yeah, the calf thrust is the first thing. It's
Calf
always
thrust
the
is-
first thing.
this-
Yeah,
this
I
is-
do the foot stomp too. Yeah.
But there's also, have you ever seen that one where you can like feed your legs through or something? There's one where you can feed your legs
That does sound like some very plant-based stuff.
through. Yeah, and then I was, what about,
That one I played with. The other thing you can do, like, so, especially because if you go for like the banana split or crotch chip or whatever,
Yeah.
so if I'm like, I kind of almost, I like
You
doing
need-
it
you
out
need
of
to
back
get-
control. It feels more natural to me. So if I'm here, I threaten the calf thrust and I'm taking that away, so I grab here and I'm just trying to the crotch chip and you extend away and I can feed it to this side.
oh wow,
I can. This is almost like a heel hook.
dang. That feels like a P-lock almost.
Yeah, I think the pretty much is. That's a good way to put it. But there's also is that thing you were doing. I've seen that one.
Yeah.
I don't play it, but it's on. I stick with it. Half wrestler,
Yeah.
Crocker, just like comes around this,
Okay.
and if you bring all your feet away from me,
Bam.
I'm grabbing this,
Twister.
and then I can go for a twister. But what I find having to work with a twister is just a heavy.
Oh, okay. Nice that.
Because I probably because I do it back like sitting up, I should like grab and come tight and then go. I just feel like the arms go flat. Whereas the hammer lock is up like you get this down the back. I should go here to here a minute.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time I take the easy way out and I just start playing here.
That works, yeah, Kev.
Yeah, like that's instead of going to the twister, I usually go for the hammer lock, and I usually don't do the right. I don't do it the book way. I kind of do it that improv way, where it's kind of like in Americana. And then if they're staying tight, that's when you retake the back.
Do you ever do the Swedish twister?
I don't think so. But yeah, if you're tight, like don't have access to this arm, or don't have access to your legs, that's what, especially like this full bring my arm back over. Because you're so tight, it makes it really easy for me to move your body when I pull your body. So I can really just pull you back on top of this. Okay, you go back to it.
Okay.
Normally, it's ridiculous.
Okay. I think that was.
Well, if you want to talk more about the reverse under, well,
Yeah, no, that's definitely really fun.
yeah. So the question is, how do?
Okay, do you use the reverse crossface from half butterfly upper?
Yes, that is like the main way. You like, and all of Gordon's how to defeat half butterfly, but not all. If I don't do the leg pummel, it's usually yes, I am hip switching here. But if I have this underhook, I don't know if it's as much, but I'll just sit on this underhook and maybe even like to try and bring it up, try to extend your leg and sleep. And now I think even if you sit up all the way, I'm here sitting right into a really big shoulder crunch that I usually. A lot of the time as you go, because you don't have the ability to bring out the back set and then bring the eye back in front. But if I don't have the underhook, which you might have the underhook, you might have the cross shoulder post go, sorry. You might have a good cross shoulder post going, whatever. I go here, I go reverse over back grip. And what Gordon says is you're reading this leg. If you find they're extending into you, you press it down and step over. If they're starting to switch the other way and open it up, you do what Danaher just did there and you get this. Yeah, you bring your forearm to block the hip and then you slide. That's Gordon's little 2-minute summary.
So my question is, so you said reverse crossface is this before, right? This pummel.
So I've seen different terminology. Gordon calls this reverse crossface this overhand grip.
Okay, what about the one with like drive through it down like that?
Like this. This is still just a version of the overback grip, I would say. Like a lot of the time, it'll be more you're kind of more on your side here. But I mean, grabbing the lat or not grabbing the lat, I think it's still just I would just call it overback grip.
I think he's called out.
Yeah, I do think Danaher calls the overback grip reverse crossface, whereas Gordon calls like if you have your own underhook on me, like you call this a reverse crossface. They have different terms. It's kind of weird. The other thing you could try for half butterfly is you can also just try early to reverse V grip and back step out too. That can be kind of like, and a lot of the time you end up having to try to follow this hip, maybe straight to an overback grip anyway. But you can try to V grip and back step. That's like a little bit messy because they can pummel around your V grip, or you just don't have super good control of the leg when you do that. But that is another option. Or like you said, you can try to keep the loose side underhook and flatten out and work from there, or you can try to leg pummel it.
Have you seen this, if I put in half butterfly, have you seen the one where what you just said, they stand on the hook? I'm right here, kind of that, and then you post your right foot, right, to get more bite on the floor. Yeah. And then have you seen where the break spot out?
Not sure I have, but it makes sense.
I know, I never thought of that. I saw that.
But as soon as your head starts popping up here, I'm thinking cross slash pose, switch here, go here.
So I should keep my head over here.
Yeah, you got like if you're doing that and you have it yourself to do it, you want to be careful about getting in space to slip this under.
Oh, you have this stuff, so I just want to do it.
Well, like, but so I have this, but I can transition really easy at the point.
Okay.
So do what you were doing. As soon as I get this in, I can go here to here.
How you getting? I didn't have to let that go.
I'm not like. I think you have to. A lot of the time, you might have to cross this too. So you have the near side underhook and the crossface on this side. So and a lot of the time, you might be pressing down here while you're doing all that.
And then it's pretty good.
Yeah. Now go for what you're trying to do. Yeah, that probably works pretty well. Now I still have other like this. It is just a weird bubbling battle that theoretically, as a top guy, you should have an advantage because you have a lot more hip mobility on top than I do. But I also have the advantage of I can sweep you, so you have to worry about that as you're doing it. So it's like kind of like a weird give and take battle. So a lot of the time, the top guy should be quicker, should be able to end up finishing it, especially if you really have my back flat on the mat and I can't see it. But at the same time, if you do one wrong step and I feel it, you can get swept. So you have to, like, in a way, be more careful for that.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that way works. I think I've probably seen it somewhere. But I don't use it personally a ton. I probably need to study my half butterfly passing a little bit more and work some good options in. But in general, like hip switching to an underhook, and if I have the underhook, I feel like they can't do much with it. I'll just sit there and let them try to elevate or do whatever. And if they really set apart on me, sit right into a shoulder crunch and really sweep. If I don't have the underhook, like I'll try that Gordon thing of waiting until the hip opens or extends into me. Sometimes I'll get stuck doing that with good people. The other key thing that can help, I think, that I don't always do well, is I think we talked about this with the hip switch to the overback grip, is I need to make sure, I want to be scissoring my legs. Like Gordon's big on scissoring the legs because that brings your heel to your butt. But the other thing is I want to make sure this foot's out here. Because I want to make sure if they get like a big bridge into me, I have some kind of post. I think a lot of the time I do all this and I'm just scissoring here, but now you bridge into me and I don't have my leg at poker line and I'll go over. But if I have, you can see this foot, right?
Yeah.
As soon as I take it out here and you bridge,
Grab it.
but grabbing it and pulling it actually gives me better base.
Okay.
So it's, at least I fit, like, there's probably some other cool stuff you can do, but like at the bottom guy when you grab it, but if I keep it here and bridge into me, I'm sure, so I keep it here, it gives me a little bit of a base and I can work. I think that's part of when I hip switch, like why I struggle a little bit if they give a big bridge in, because I don't always do a good job bringing that knee wide or bringing that foot out to give me some kind of base if they bridge in. I should theoretically also maybe be able to push with the hand and push back into you quick. I always kind of have trouble doing that a little bit. Like John Bob is the one that I struggle with the most. He does a really good job as soon as I try to hip switch over with me and his limbs are so long. Have you ever rolled with him?
John Bob.
He's a 6'4" police officer, the captain in the Fairfax Police Department. He's around open mats sometimes. He's like, he's a purple belt, but he's really good at that. And I struggle whenever I try to hip switch and read his butterfly hook like that. I usually don't get that foot out enough, or he's just so big and I can't get over it that I usually get swept by it. But so yeah, with him, a lot of time I try to stand up more and pummel a little early because all the hip switch into overback grip doesn't seem to work as well for me. If I did a better job keeping his foot out, that'd probably help. But sometimes I just think he's so long and strong that it wouldn't matter even if I did it right. I don't know. It's something I'm troubleshooting. It's really good questions by you because Gordon's book answers don't always work super well for me. This is one of the circumstances where I'm like, he said this and I try it and it doesn't always
another
work.
session now for free. No, but yeah, I got you. Yeah, so there's a lot of options there. It seems like Jason Brower also has the near side underhook where your knee slices across.
Yep, that always.
That one seems pretty. It just seems like knee slices work really well.
Yeah, that's why it's one of my go-to moves, you know. And it's like, I think like as soon as there's a ton of other stuff you can do instead of a knee slice. Usually, like once you have the hip block, you could try to sit the 3/4 but like I just like there's so many like little decision trees like we talked about. If they clamp down hard on it, back step to cross shot, see if it's open, you still can take 3/4 mount. And a lot of the time, even if you have just the far side underhook, they'll sometimes give you the near side underhook. It's just like the whole time you're doing that fight, you have the hips kind of pinned because your knee's right there and it's pinned this late. So they can't move as well until they decide to let that foot go. I think that's the other reason I really like it is it's kind of like a mix between like Toriando and some of like body lock stuff because I still have control of your hips because this is right here. So I control your hips and like now I can fight this battle and this battle, but I at least know your hips aren't moving a ton probably.
And a big battle for me, if I do have the hook, is I want my arm underneath my leg.
Yeah, you
keep it off, right?
Yeah, the three battles going on are keeping this knee shield in, making it sure I can't get an underhook on this guy. And the gi is a little different, but no gi. This cross shoulder post keeps me from getting an underhook, and you're working all three together. You're trying to get me like off balance up here, and then try to get me off balance here or back, so you have space to invert underneath me, or just tripod sweep me and work your reverse Del Hiva stuff. But I usually like find that people who just focus on this battle, maybe some really good people, it doesn't matter, but I find they tend to lose it. I find this battle ends up being a little more important, and as soon as I get here, this cross shoulder post, I'm usually able to get here, and then power through.
Yeah, I feel like it's not good.
So it's like, I think there are people who are really good at using that, and I would struggle just powering through that. I rely a little more on the knee shield more than anything. And even if they're starting to get over that bottom leg, I use the knee shield to extend them away, back my hips up and go. So that's my personal preference. Is just, and a lot of the time I'm just delaying them to try to draw them into a half guard to work my half guard stuff on bottom anyway. And maybe they like, and at any point they get super excited and they shoot for an underhook or crossface, work that one sweep where like, so if I'm here and I'm like, ooh, I have an underhook and crossface, and they just shoot for it, I frame with this here, as they're coming in, I get this knee head, this knee back here, and I don't
Can I also lever?
Yeah, the mechanics of both are pretty similar. They're kind of interchangeable. I like getting that knee out, and like people can just step the knee up to stop the knee lever, whereas like they really kind of have to react a little stronger to the butterfly sweep. But there is a chance I could be, even after all that, like still really high over this line, like really pushing in this low, like here, and now we do it. So I'll use my knee lever some, but I generally prefer to frame right here and get this back, and then
Gotcha.
do like an over/under sweep.
Gotcha. And what's the bottom principle for the knee elbow on butterfly sweeps? Because we talked about the knee elbow in a lot of places, right? But
Like forming a side guard.
not just a side guard. I heard that somehow it helps the butterfly sweep itself. Did you know why that would be?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Maybe I got it wrong.
Well, so you're like talking about bringing this to here.
Yeah. That makes sense. Anywhere for a sweep.
I'm not sure. I don't think so. Like, because the butterfly sweep a lot of the time, like I'm getting here, like I might be here, getting underneath here, and then sweeping or shoulder crunch. Yeah, like a lot of the time this isn't the key. So I don't know why
Okay, maybe
they
that
would
was
say
true.
that. Or, I mean, somebody might have said it, and they might have had a reason for saying it that makes sense. But it doesn't jive with what I know about butterfly sweeps off the top.
I got you. If I find out something else, I'll-
Yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah, and any other questions about butterfly stuff since we've been talking about it the past couple of weeks?
I mean, I'm just gonna work on. I just started thinking today that the butterfly hook from the bottom works with both a cross frame and an underhook for me really well, right?
Yes.
When I scoop that leg, that far leg. So I can also go into false reaps on leg eye hook. And then we can play K-guard with that too, connected.
That's true. I have trouble. I don't play a ton of false reads because you do have to get, number one, they have to stand up to do false reads.
They have to stand up.
In general, there's probably ways you can force it.
Have you seen that one where they where it's like also I didn't for some reason I don't know if I did this, but I just started thinking I never back field here. I would always just leave my leg lazy here.
So yeah, that's definitely important and helpful because back healing helps prevent this from coming.
Well, I don't think I did that. I don't know. I think I always just cut the heel.
So sometimes I'll probably do that because, like, if I'm getting ready to frame, you need to take it out to post anyway.
Yeah.
So you need to take it out to post, and if I'm about to get this oxy actually and I'll balance you this way, I might want to plant here and have it free to do this. So there's reasons to let it go. Like mainly the two main offenses you have is sweeping that way or switching to get ready for the oxy entry if you take them back the other way. It can't stay in when that's the case. But if you're not tight with it right before you make those actions, the instep will pump blood and you'll get cotton pick if you can.
Let me see if I can do the false. So it was that whole.
Was it off of Craig's video?
No, this is off of Gordon's, but I've seen on other people's where you get it here.
Oh, you kind of almost get to that. I wouldn't call that false reap. I call that almost like a pendulum. Build up to two shoulders, roll through.
Even though I scooped it back the leg when I'm rolling.
I still think because you ended up building up like this and then pendulum it, I would call it more like build up pendulum, kind of almost like you're rolling to it from turtle. False reap, like Craig does have some interesting ways like of showing it here, but you get here, this is here, and I extend, and then I go under. I used to do it better, but like, it's like the extension away and kind of getting them over top is what helps you roll under. Whereas I think the one you were just doing is more about you build up here and then you kick through here. It's like the pendulum, and that one doesn't work. I think we talked about this because as soon as I get built up, so roll back over. As soon as I get built up right here, people grab my hips, or just even just like this, or just like the other hand. Not trying to go through. I'm stuck. They start smashing me this way. Yeah. So I would love that build up to two shoulders and pendulum pass, and that having from turtle too. It can be a way to stop. Like you can try to re-get your kwashashi back when they smash your two knees together with it too. I find it doesn't work super well for me just because my hips are so there and they can just smash me to the side again.
So you're standing up. This is when the low single. You ever play this?
I mean, now you're kind of almost shin to shin, except with that other guy in there.
You ever play this?
I don't really, because again, you're kind of exposed to an underhook here, and like, there's like your back sits. There's like so much random crap that can happen. There's probably some nifty shit from there. Yeah, if you got the second leg, that's great. There's probably some nifty shit from there. It's not that I've studied it. I do think there's just a lot of weaknesses associated with that. Deagle, who's like one of the best leg artists, I think he plays with that some. There's probably some Highland people that do it. I just haven't experimented with it, and I do think there's a lot of, until you get good at it, same thing with fall sweep. Fall sweep can be really good. It's just, I think there's a lot of weaknesses associated with it. Like if you do it from, do you ever play it from standing? Like,
So I was gonna try like this, but
so you usually don't have this, it's kind of almost like a versatile heat fall sweep. So it's like, when you do it, you have this guy like here, and this guy right here, and you're playing here, and then you're kind of, you're fiddling this over, and then you're trying to get this here, invert underneath, so you can back step, and then extend. So it's like, you play with this foot free, and then you use the two things, you try to off-balance it so you can really fit this one through and extend. You use that extension to take weight off, set this like, so it's like,
I'll give you on arms.
so you usually start with this one here and this one here. I believe if I remember correctly. And a lot of times when you're trying to get an off-balance going, so you can really get here, and then you switch it to this grip.
Right,
And then you extend here. But the big thing is you have to get really good off balances in order to like get enough weight off you in order to get that weight underneath and extend. And also there's a chance that as you're doing all that, you can get all that well. Like it's here, and then you're trying to play to get this leg around, and then fiddle it through. Yeah, exactly. Roll underneath. Like it.
I got you. So it's kind of from reverse though.
It's pretty much reverse Del Eva, except a lot of the time reverse Del Eva, you're trying to invert underneath or tripod sweep, whereas full sweep, you're just trying to fiddle the top leg over and use that top leg to take the pressure off you.
Okay. All right, cool, bro. Thank you.
Yep. Good work, buddy.
Yeah.
So we'll call the call it flying column or call it
For a little bit, we can call it.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll see you. You know.
As you get more reps in and you find more questions in a few months.
Yeah, exactly. Now we could definitely.